Today we are going to be looking at Devil's Reign and If It Was Made in DC Comics, a book written by Chip Zdarsky and might even be trending at the moment considering a lot of the newest season of Daredevil has a lot of inspiration from that storyline. I haven't seen the entire season yet, I'm only a couple of episodes in, but I can already tell there's been a lot of plot points from that. As per usual, I am sure there are stories like this that already exist in DC, and that pretty much goes for any other story I try to take from Marvel and implement it in DC. But it's gotten to the point where it is what it is. I'm just going to make these stories into DC versions, and if you like them, you like them, you don't, you don't. This story is going to heavily utilize Two-Face, or more so, Harvey Dent. At this point in time, Harvey has been fully rehabilitated and has now entered reconstructive facial surgery. His half burnt up and deformed face and his split personality disorder is gone. The judicial system forgives Harvey Dent for all of his previous crimes. They even deem those crimes to have been under the influence of his previous condition, in which his previous condition was no fault of his own. What also helped him is that Bruce Wayne, the son of Gotham, chose to speak on Harvey Dent's behalf. He sees an old friend who has changed his criminal-like ways and has returned to his old self. Now, not long after, there is a mayoral candidacy race, which Harvey Dent decides to put his name into the hat. Everyone around the city has their own opinions. He used to be a criminal. He was a mob boss. How could we trust this? Harvey Dent was once a politician. He would be good for this city if he kept the same morals and values he had when he was that politician. Some people may feel that he's not mentally ready for it, and some people may feel Gotham is already a horrible place to begin with. How much worse can he make it? Bruce, on the other hand, is now a little 50-50. He's trying to understand why someone who is just freshly rehabilitated, there's no trace of Two-Face left, has decided to get right back into this dangerous and consequential boat of political games. Why would he put himself in this type of danger all over again? Bruce does try to contact and get in touch with Harvey Dent as he runs for mayor of Gotham City. Very often he is met with, not at this time. Harvey Dent's too busy right now. He'll catch up with you at another time. And at one point he's understanding, well, you know what? If he's really going to do this, there's going to be a lot of work involved. He's very busy. It's not until he fully hears what Harvey Dent has planned for Gotham City. He basically claims that villainy and crime have run rampant on Gotham for far too long, and the appearance of superhero vigilantes have not helped the case whatsoever. His main focus is to put an end to all crime and all vigilantism. Now, a lot of people in Gotham at this point have already felt this way. Harvey is just speaking to their interests. He claims the reason why crime is so high in Gotham is because of particularly people like Batman who encourage this type of behavior and make this city unsafe as a whole. The people of Gotham are very tired of the state of their city. They're sick of living in a place with such high crime rates. And if Harvey wins the election, he plans to outlaw all vigilantes, and he orders the GCPD to arrest and detain the Batman and anyone else at his side. He's much more prioritized on Batman. He understands that Batman is at the head of Gotham, no matter who he has at his side. Bruce starts to come up with this idea that maybe the reason he's doing this is because he still holds a certain level of anger and hatred towards Batman, with the reasoning why Harvey Dent became Two-Face in the first place. Of course, there would be no story if this didn't happen. Harvey Dent wins the election and becomes the brand new mayor of Gotham City. Batman is very conflicted at this point. His one-time friend who he thought rehabilitated has now completely turned the entire city against him and all of his friends and allies. He now doesn't fully understand who Harvey Dent is and how different of a person he may be from Two-Face. He may even be something more than Two-Face. Batman now unites all of his allies, the Bat family and otherwise. He knows this is now a war on him and other vigilantes. Now, Harvey can't just sit here and attack the heroes of Gotham. He needs to be seen making unbiased decisions, which means he also has to go after the criminals. And he even hunts them down and detains them using his special task force. I don't fully know every single character that would be part of this task force, but the leader of the team would be Bane. And the idea is that every single one of these characters are reformed villains of some sort who are now serving the city ordered by Harvey Dent to make it seem to the people of Gotham that a difference is truly being made, which in ways you can actually argue it is. And when you have someone like Bane leading your team, you're going to have a master battle tactician. Now, Commissioner Gordon starts to rebel or oppose the law that Harvey Dent is laying down. And also the fact that he wants the GCPD to be more of a law enforcement against vigilantes. Gordon does not sit right with this. Also with the fact that Harvey was once an ex-criminal, one of the biggest criminals Gotham has ever seen. He's not alone. There are a lot of people in the GCPD and even outside of it, regular civilians and citizens who don't fully trust in what Harvey Dent is doing here. So Gordon kind of leads these people and causes an uproar, a commotion of people who don't trust Harvey Dent. And because of that, Gordon is immediately fired from being the commissioner of the GCPD. Now, at this point in time, without truly understanding how, Harvey Dent learns that one of Batman's greatest allies is holed up in the clock tower of Gotham City. So they infiltrate it and they end up kidnapping Barbara Gordon and bringing her back to wherever Harvey Dent's base of operations is. Somewhere that's very secret, so no other vigilante would know how to go to this location to try and save their friends. So Batman very quickly severs all servers and connections to other hideouts around the city. That way Harvey and this task force has no other information on his Bat family or himself. But very quickly before he shuts it all down, Bane in the clock tower with the rest of the task force end up finding a ping on a Gotham City holographic map of Nightwing entering the city. And that's not something that should be happening because Batman told Nightwing that he wanted him to stay in Bloodhaven. Bane and this task force hunt down Nightwing. And whereas he does put up a pretty good fight, he does end up getting beaten and taken back to the base of operations with Barbara Gordon. This is where Barbara and Dick are basically beaten and tortured. More so Dick over Barbara, of course. But the point of their torture is to figure out where the other Bat family members may be, any other Gothamite vigilantes and metahumans, and very specifically the leader of it all. Where is Batman and who is he under that mask? Catwoman, who her and Batman at this point in time have a very tense but passionate relationship, she is the next member to be taken. When detained by Harvey Dent, Bane ominously tells Catwoman that there are very important and different plans specifically for her compared to what they've been doing to all the other captured Bat family members. So Dent has finally given Commissioner Gordon one last opportunity to go on live television to denounce everything he's been opposing about Harvey Dent. And if he does so, he will let him walk away with his daughter, Barbara Gordon, and for both of them to leave Gotham City forever. Gordon accepts, but obviously within regards to a plan he has had with Batman. Gordon had to swallow a tracking device, something that could not be traced or scanned if going through scanners. Batman needs to know where this base of operations is. And the soldiers or police officers there take Gordon, put him into a broadcasting room, but has not been met with any sign of Harvey Dent when arriving. Suddenly, everything in the building goes offline and dark. Batman starts rolling through room by room, taking out every possible person he can, along with every single member of Harvey Dent's task force. Gordon was also placed into a trap. They knew he would eventually arrive, and they planned on killing him. So now Gordon needs to try and fight his way out. So as Batman completely clears out the entire place, he finds all of his Bat family members and vigilantes locked behind these glass cells, and every single one of them are pretty badly beaten. But the very strange thing is that one of the last cells he stumbles upon, Harvey Dent, is inside. He looks emotionally drained, heavily defeated, and he basically tells Batman that this entire thing was a ploy. He never wanted to run for mayor after his facial reconstruction, let alone did he even want to go after vigilantes and heroes. He then tells Batman that everything he has seen of him on live television, news media, or any other media sites has all been an act due to the threat on his life. Harvey wanted to start fresh. He wants to be left alone. He wants to leave Gotham. He wants to be a new person. But Bane would not allow for that. This is all Bane's plan. He is the true mastermind of everything happening here. This is all the abuse of power and obsession on who Bane's greatest enemy is. What is the identity of the Batman? Bane knew he had a great advantage if he used the face of the once great White Knight of Gotham to pull power and resources with his proposal by advocating and speaking to what the people of Gotham have wanted to hear for so long. Less crime brings less need for heroism, which means a safer city. Bane also had a lot of strong blackmail on Harvey Dent that wouldn't throw him back into Arkham Asylum because of what he had on him as Two-Face. It would actually throw him into prison for some of the wrongdoings and political corruption he once did as Harvey Dent, even before becoming Two-Face. After Batman and Harvey have a discussion with one another, and Batman now knows that Harvey is truly a good person, he's done his time, he lets him out of the cell, but very suddenly a singular TV turns on near them, where Bane is on screen. Using these exact words, he says, "Return to your Batcave, Bruce Wayne, and return alone." Batman now knows something very wrong is happening, and he looks around the room to see another cell that is empty. There is no sign of Catwoman. Gordon and Harvey stay behind to help the rest of the Bat family members, while Batman rushes back to the Batcave. When returning, walking slowly towards Bane, who is by the Bat computer, both Alfred and Catwoman on their knees, both brutally beaten, Catwoman more so than Alfred at this point. Bane proceeds to ask Batman to remove his belt and any other gadgets he may have on hand and to throw them off the ledge of the platform they're on, and then he also tells him to remove his mask, and if he doesn't do it, he will kill either Alfred and or Catwoman. He wants the visual proof. He wants to see as Batman takes off the mask, he now becomes Bruce Wayne. Catwoman and Alfred start to yell at Batman, "Don't do it, don't give him what he wants," but Batman does it anyways. He ignores it, he slowly takes off his mask, and now Bane is truly satisfied seeing Bruce Wayne as his mortal enemy. Now, even though Bane is pleasantly surprised, he betrays his promise, and he grabs Alfred, and he's about to kill him, which Batman visibly gets enormously angry. And I wanted to do something where, kind of how he did die in the comic books recently, but also a line that Thomas Wayne told Bruce in Batman Begins, as Bane maybe grabs him by the head and is about to snap his neck. He looks at Bruce and says, "Bruce, don't be afraid," reminding Bruce who he is and that sometimes this life is going to have consequences. And Alfred is just one of those sacrifices that possibly needs to be made here. Bane snaps Alfred's neck and kills him. Selina starts to scream and cry for Alfred, but Bane immediately knocks her out to shut her up. Bane begins to brag and boast how he is Batman's greatest foe, how he has uncovered his entire operation, how he has successfully unmasked the greatest detective, and once he defeats Bruce, he will kill Selina Kyle in front of his eyes. And at this point, Batman retains all of his emotions, and just like a monk, he focuses all of his attention on the enemy at hand. The fight is brutal and long, epic, and emotional. Near the end of the fight, Batman gets a hold of a grapple gun, which he then ties around Bane's neck, shoots it up to a support beam, and then starts pulling on it, pretty much hanging Bane from it as he chokes out. Certainly, after everything Bane has done, he grips onto the wire as strong as possible and pulls even more because he himself would love to kill Bane. But suddenly he has a flashback, a very important time in his life with Alfred. It's a conversation he has with Alfred on the ethical and moral decisions of choosing to kill. Alfred basically warns him that to kill is easy, but to deal with the choice of killing afterwards, it's not something you can lightly get over. It could potentially completely change who you are as a person. Then he goes on to basically tell him to remember the man your parents tried to raise you in, remember who you are, and remember the man I'm trying to raise you to be. Don't let those emotions control you. Rise above that fear. As he thinks about that memory, once again gripping the grapple rope as hard as he can and pulling down on it as hard as he can, hearing Bane struggle, grasping for air, squirming around behind him, Batman tearing up, he could so easily crack his windpipe and end Bane. He lets out an extremely loud yell as he pulls extra tight one last time and lets go, leaving the suspended Bane to fall back down to the platform. As Bane lays there struggling and gasping for air, Batman walks over to him and just gives him these unhuman-like pummels to the face that would potentially leave him knocked out into next year. Batman walks over to an unconscious Selina and an unfortunately passed Alfred, and he weeps for both of them, of course, but especially for Alfred. He feels as if the decisions he has made in his life and time as Batman has led some of his friends and allies to this point. It has led to Selina being beaten within an inch of her life. It has led to the death of his best friend and father figure. So now some more time has passed, potentially a couple of days to a week, and they do hold a funeral service for Alfred Pennyworth, and everyone is there, everyone badly beaten and recovering from their injuries as well. And as everyone recovers, there is an aftermath. Gordon chooses not to return to the GCPD to become Commissioner Gordon again after he was wrongfully terminated. He actually chooses to run for the next mayor of Gotham City himself. Bane is held in solitary confinement hundreds of feet beneath Arkham Asylum. Harvey Dent leaves Gotham with a deep breath, starting a new life unknown of where he goes next. And instead of sinking into a depression and burying himself in pain, Batman chooses to make a decision that no one could have ever seen coming. He realizes that a lot of the information and proof that Bane had on his real identity and the rest of the Bat family could so easily come out through so many different channels and sites and forums on the internet, or anybody else who might dislike Batman. They could get their hands on this information at any time. Alfred also taught him that in this life of secrecy, it carries a lot of heavy consequences, and perhaps during those times, it's always important to change methods. This is where, at the very end, in front of live news and television, Bruce would announce that he is truly Batman and that he and his company, Wayne Enterprises, are creating Batman Incorporated. So there it is, Devil's Reign if it happened in DC Comics. I used a lot of inspiration from other stories, very keen to Arkham Origins where Bane figures out the identity of Batman, and I also wanted to take elements from Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. It was very important for me to make Bane the overall arcing threat of the story, because I feel as if in a lot of stories, Bane always ends up being the underling. He seems to be the main threat, but then he's really just working for someone in disguise or someone that we didn't see in the first place. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you thought of this version of the story. A Batman Dark Knight's Reign, perhaps, something like that. That is all I have for you on this video, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed, and until the next time, I will talk to you all very soon.